Morning friends, Alpha One here with another presentation of Hearthstone at Facebook. I guess it's the October series now, but the Q3 series, even though we're technically in Q4, we are going directly into Adithya versus Ben. I've already registered the bans. They're both running Druid, Hunter, Rogue, and Shaman. Ben banned the Rogue and Adithya banned the Druid, and it looks like we're going to have a Hunter mirror to begin with. They're both running Death Rattle Hunter. Let me quickly bring up the deck lists. And looks like they're both fairly comparable lists. Differences, we see one Giggling Inventor in Adithya's list. We see a... That's basically it. One Giggling Inventor versus... whatever. Anyways, openings, tracking turn 1 never feels too bad. You probably get Houndmaster Shaw, even though Flanking Strike is really good value. On the other side, we see two pretty dead cards early in Katharina and King Crush. You especially never really want to draw King Crush, you want to pull up from Katharina. That being said, having Devil Sword or Egg on turn 3, Curve in the play dead is never terrible. But on the other side, we see a really strong Devil Sword double play dead, or potentially like Devil Sword play dead and then Spider Bomb play dead. So I'd have to give the favor to Adithya so far, even though he's going second.
Job done.
And eggs from both players come out. It was actually a coined egg, which sort of makes sense. And double play dead. Adithya is gonna quickly push his advantage. Not a real surprise. On the other hand, the single play dead is not gonna have quite the same impact, and we may even see a Gluttonous Zeus come down just to contest the board a little bit. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he chooses to do that or just presses the hero power. It is going to be the Ooze to try to contest the board. I can get behind that. Now here's a very interesting turn. Ooh, Terror Scale Stalker, what a draw. That is fantastic. In my personal opinion, when you're in a really strong aggressive position like this, you go face. I can definitely understand trading away one minion. But he opts to trade both, saying that I have such a strong board presence that I'm not afraid of anything you may do. And yeah, I mean, cubing an egg is not particularly scary. On the other side, we also see cube drawn, although I think we may end up seeing 5-2 get traded in and others go face. Curious to see whether or not he'll counter cube the egg just to keep the push alive. He cubes the Devil Sword. That's fascinating. Makes him a little more robust against his board getting cleared. He gets 2 5/5s that pop out of it, but it is a little less immediate value. Savannah High Main comes down. Cube trades for the Junkie minion. And we're apparently waiting on a player to reconnect. Oh no. That's hopefully alright. It looks like we may see a cube traded plus Rexar here. It's a little awkward. Opts just to pop the opposing cube instead. In that case, we may see Houndmaster. Nope, Spider Bombs. Alright. It's funny because these Spider Bombs are probably going to end up popping the eggs. And he accidentally magnetizes one. Oops. Although I believe the Death Rattle goes off twice when it dies, so it does make it more robust to Deathstalker Rexar, which is pretty funny. We'll see if he chooses to Rexar or if he just wants to Terror Scale and keep pushing the egg advantage. One fun synergy that we haven't seen yet, because neither player has drawn it, but Mossy Horror is also really good for popping eggs. Oh, he is going to pop the double Spider Bomb, which kills the High Main and an egg. Not a terrible outcome, especially with Rexar as a follow-up. Terror Scale Stalker is going to re-trigger the egg, which is all fine here. In that case, I'm definitely expecting to see Rexar come down and trade into one of the scrub minions. It seems to make a lot of sense against a board like this. He ends up with two 5/5s and he's facing down a 5/3 and a 3/1. And getting Rexar out first also lets him develop more value, which he's desperately going to need because Katharina is going to come down and get a huge amount of it. There's a chance instead of Katharina we see Rexar, but yeah, I like Katharina. It's going to pull definitely a Witchfoot Grizzly. Yep. Only these remaining in the Hunter deck for Ben are Witchwood Grizzlies, since Savannah Highmane's been played and King Crush is standing in hand. Or sitting in hand. Cube's gonna happen again. Build a Beast last. I'm assuming he picked the Hyena and Stealth. Hyena and Lifesteal. And on the other side, Odyssey, if you have a 3/7 taunt like this, you drop Crush and go face. He has 9, 12, 20 damage. Like, what's your opponent gonna do to you? Yeah. And it's looking like a decisive advantage for Ben now. I believe the only thing that saves Adithya at this point may be the exploding blowbat poisonous beast build. I can't imagine anything else. He's just gonna give up. Okay. And that's gonna be a 1-0 quick lead for Ben.
Played.
And the Hunter for Adithya is quickly eliminated. We see from Adithya's lists that his other alternatives, his Druid and his Shaman, are Shutterwalk Shaman and the Malagos Togwaggle Druid, both of which I believe lose to Death Rattle Hunter, so this could get scary real fast. Especially seeing that Ben does have, I believe, what is Quest Rogue in reserve too, which is really strong as both those decks also. So yeah, very curious to see how this plays out. I would definitely put the favor in Ben's side right now, but anything can happen. Hearthstone is great and terrible like that. At $1 for every time I won an unfavored matchup or lost a favored one, I might actually have enough money to buy packs. But also, yeah. I believe my mic may have been a little far from my mouth. Hopefully this is better and the volume is a little more appropriate now. If not, well, tough luck. Low quality stream. Literally just crawled out of bed and saw that bans happen. I was like, alright, I guess we're casting. Interesting. Waiting for the second game to happen. Looks like they're entering the Battle of Friend. I believe that they were dumped into main menu because Ben was disconnected after game or during game 1. And I wonder, it is going to be the Shutterwalk Shaman. So, Shutterwalk Shaman, for those of you who've been living under a rock, you play a bunch of battle cries, specifically Life Drinker, Saturday Night Chain Gang, and Grumble World Shaker. Then you play Shutterwalk, you hope that your Saturday Night procs happen before the Grumble proc, you get more Shutterwalks, you win the game. My jaws that bite, my claws that catch. On the other side, tracking to dig for something, unfortunately none of these are particularly great. He might go for the cube just because it's the best minion in the long term. He does go for that. But with the Terror Scale Stalker and nothing to trigger it, he's not going to be able to put a ton of early pressure onto the Shaman. And given that the Shaman basically default wins once it starts Shutterwalking, it's a pretty good place to be. So yeah, you're always happy to see your opponent hero power on turn 2 if you're playing the walk. The only thing that you're missing that you would have liked to see is your Prince Keleseth turn 2, which obviously would be super strong. On the other side, I'm actually interested to see whether or not we see Coin Houndmaster Shaw. Houndmaster Shaw is really strong, And the Shutterwalk Shaman typically isn't gonna have great answers to it. If they hex it, you're not particularly unhappy because then they're not having or they're not being able to hex some of your higher value, higher cost minions. And we are probably gonna see a hex come out on Houndmaster Shaw. No, it's gonna be Life Drinker. That's interesting. A lot of times I'd be like, yeah, Shaw's way too scary to leave alive. We're probably gonna see the flanking strike on the Life Drinker, which is gonna enable him to clear out most of the board. The 3/3 rush is gonna clear out the spell powered. Okay, he's gonna clear out both totems. Why not? Personally, I'm an advocate of pushing in 3 face damage and leaving the heal stream totem alive, because the only thing it really contributes is making rolling spell power 1 and 3 instead of 1 and 4. Which honestly, at that point, fine, you kill the second totem. Now I'm expecting to see another flanking strike come out. Why not? Build a strong board, in which case you don't attack with the 3/3, you flanking strike the Acolyte, and then you have the 3/3 that pops out a flanking strike with Rush, kill the taunt totem, so you get 3 extra face damage. Looks like that's just a minor misplay from Ben. He's gonna miss out on 3 damage. Hopefully he's not gonna come to regret this later in the game.
A mistake.
And he does notice what went wrong there. Rush, in fact, cannot hit face. Terrible mechanic. I'm a little curious to see whether or not Adithya is going to dump AoE now, or he's going to hold it for one more turn. With 12 health of minions on board, Volcano does seem pretty prudent. And it looks like that is what he's going to go for. Looks like he's going to save the Glacial Shard. I don't see any particular reason to play it to stop 1 face damage, and that is what's going to happen. Keliseth is finally picked up by Ben instead of Adithya, but he doesn't have a great follow-up to it. We're probably just going to see like hero power, maybe a Terra Scale. Like, none of this feels good. And he still doesn't have a great cube target either. On the other side, I mean, this is going to continue to be a slow play from the Shaman. There's a possibility you commit MC Tech here, but I'm not sure it's necessary. I don't think you're feeling a lot of pressure from 2 damage per turn from Keliseth. Looks like he's gonna have to cube the Keliseth just to make a board. Oh gosh, that feels bad. That's an inconceivable right there. At this point, you're like, do I even hex this cube? You probably do. It's the same thing to do. But no, Agatha, why not? He's gonna get a bunch more. Would you rather have 2 Keliseths, or would you rather have 5/5 Devilsaur? I feel like you'd rather have the Devilsaur. A little curious about this. We're probably gonna see like MC Tech, Earthshock, Storm or something. Seems reasonable. MC Tech gets the egg, nice. Means he can Earthshock the cube instead if he wants to. Looks like he is gonna Earthshock the cube. Stormbringer is actually pretty interesting here, because the Shaman gets a bunch of junky minions that he could potentially turn into legendaries. Let's see if this rolls high, 50-50. It does roll high. Excellent turn of events for Adithya. On the other side, Crush is just gonna come out and hit face. You gotta start putting that pressure on. Unfortunately for him, this Crush is about to get hexed. I assume. It's gotta be hex, right? I don't think he can afford to leave a Crush up. I think he's debating whether or not he wants to trade in the egg. Nope, he's just gonna hex, he's gonna retain the egg. Just gonna ooze the weapon, why not? It is the only weapon in this Hunter deck. And Crushing Hand, nice ordering. He could have Crushing Hand the Crush instead of hexing it. I'm not sure it'll be relevant in the long run, but just an amusing note. Candle Shot is gonna let our Hunter player clear one of these minions, but he's gonna opt to build a beast instead. He really wants to start cranking up the minions, and I don't blame him. Being behind on board against Shutterwalk Shaman is never a good look. That's sort of the thing that ends up with you losing the game horribly to Jaws that bite and Claws that catch. Saturnite's gonna come out, making even a bigger board. Healing Rains. Ooh, Bloodlust! We might see a victory without the Shutterwalk win condition at all. Bloodlust is gonna be plus 18 damage on a board like this. And if Ben doesn't get an answer real quick, which he does, he has Mossy Horror, which clears away most of his board. He's aware that maybe he's aware that Bloodlust is a threat, but we're still facing down 11 plus 9, I believe. Yeah, 11 plus 9 damage. I'd actually like to see Primal Talismans come out here. Just to make sure that you have a strong board for Bloodlust, but Stormbringer works too. He gets Alec here! Ooh! I think that's... we gotta build a real good beast here if you're Ben. A real good beast. He's gonna track first, try to maybe pull in like a Witchbook Grizzly. He gets Play Dead for a Spider Bomb. Okay, that's maybe a thing. But he's still facing now so much damage on board. He's gonna Spider Bomb. He's gonna Play Dead. It's not gonna hit the Alec here. So if it hits the Alec here, he could have Hunter's marked and then attacked and been nominally safe. He was still dead. He was still going to be dead, but on board he would have survived on one. Instead, that is just gonna be the game, and Shudderwock Shaman equalizes the series at 1 apiece. And that is the real strength of the current Shudderwock list, as opposed to the really one-dimensional versions like Fireplume Harbinger and Murmuring Elemental we saw initially, is that this list can totally tempo you out of the game. It has a pretty low curve, like Keleseth lets you win anything, and Ben's like, you know, that Keleseth Shaman was a good idea. Let me copy you. And we're rather Shudderwock Shaman. And we're gonna see a Shudderwock Mirror. So quick touch on the differences. 1 Earthshock in Ben's list, 2 in Adithya's. 2 Manatides in Ben's list, 1 in Adithya's, and the rest looks vaguely identical. Don't think that difference is gonna put much of an advantage in either player's hands. Logan just messaged me going, well, this should be a Clown Fiesta. I agree with you, Logan. This should, in fact, be a Clown Fiesta. I'm looking forward to it. Both players already have Shudderwock in hand, so, yeah. I'm expecting things to get real interesting real quick. I want to see Manatide Totem come down if you're Ben. But I guess maybe not. There's sort of like this weird thing in the mirror where a lot of your cards are so responsive rather than proactive that you end up overdrawing with Manatide. Like, you can't dump your crap out fast enough. So maybe that's what his concern is. Just get a bit more board pressure with Gluttonous Ooze, and you can always set up the Manatide behind it afterwards, which is what he's going to do. Which stifles his opponent's Manatide and allows him to get an uncontested one. Not a bad look. We're going to see Earthshock on a Manatide. He really respects that card draw. He knows he can't afford to let his opponent combo out. And it's going to answer with the Ooze. Neither of them have weapons, so it's just a tempo 3/3/3. But second Manatide comes off the top. Still going to be reasonably protected if he chooses to go for it. He does. Gonna trade off, and we'll see if he totems up. He knows that his opponent's running mind control tech. They are in fact playing the same deck. And Volcano ripped off the top is gonna be played. He goes, nope, don't want to control anything, not gonna take the risk. This Manatide's too strong to survive. I'm just gonna clear it all off. Saturn Knight's a card you're always happy to see if you're on Ben's side. It gets you closer to having the inevitability. Well, ish. There's still some RNG. But instead he's like, nah, I'm gonna draw some cards. Oh no! Coin Volcano, I want to see it. You're drawing 6 cards for your opponent. You're burning 3 cards. Coin Volcano, I definitely want to see this. I think playing double Acolyte is a mistake. No, don't Life Drink. He's gonna Life Drinker. Well, now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. Like, in a matchup like this, being able to mill your opponent's win condition is, it's just game. I think. Yeah, I would have liked to see Coin Volcano, but it is what it is. He's gonna keep the Acolytes alive. Well, there's still the Volcano follow-up then. Volcano Keleseth. Get an MC tech. Still not a fan, but It's alright. Whatever. Whatever. I mean, in fairness, I don't actually play this Keleseth Shaman, so maybe there's something I'm missing. But we'll see. Lightning Storm's always did clear out a lot of the minions. He denies the Acolyte draw. It's interesting that he's still choosing to leave his own Acolyte alive. I guess now he's in a hand state that like he can eat a Volcano and not care. Keleseth is out, but quick tally. Both players have played, I believe, one Saronite, and Adithya's played both Life Drinkers now, I believe, whereas Ben has both in hand. We're probably gonna see counter Keleseth and like Life Drinker. No, he's gonna Volcano. Yeah, he's gonna Volcano. Now he's like, alright, let me draw some cards to my Acolyte since you didn't punish me for over Acolyting earlier. See, people always talk about never going full Northshire, but I feel like there should be the corollary, never go full Acolyte. Well, Grumble comes in hand. I would like Acolyte Grumble, why not? Get a 1-mana Acolyte for later. Alternately Grumble Acolyte, that's also reasonable. And he's getting awful close to being able to go off with Shutterwalk, even though it's a little risky right now with the... I think he's only played one Saronite, so he might still choose to hold it for a bit. Grumble's about to get hexed, it looks like, just to deal with the big body. It's interesting that he's not playing the Life Drinkers. Yeah, it is a little curious that he's playing MC Tech as a 4/4 rather than just a Life Drinker, but... Oh, we are gonna see Shutterwalk. Well, we'll see if this gets anywhere. Both Life Drinkers. Grumble procs first. Whiffed. It's unfortunate. That being said... so opponent can clear out one of the 2/6/6. Ooh, Lightning Storm pulled off the top. That's gonna let him clear both. I think that's probably gonna be it. Totem, Lightning Storm, trade in, win game. It's you hate to see that. You hate to see that. And so that's the real danger of trying to go off with Shutterwalk with only one Saronite played. It puts you at basically a 50-50 of being able to sustain or not, and that ended up losing. So that's gonna be a 2-1 series lead for Ben, claiming Shutterwalk revenge. It's like, you can Shutterwalk, I can Shutterwalk just as well. And so Adithya is gonna be down to his slow Druid deck, which look. Little worried at how this is going to perform against Shutterwalk, Shaman, and Questrogue. I feel like he really needed to win that game. And now he's in, he's going to be in a world of hurt. Nonetheless, Druid is Druid. It's king of the meta, and as a way of winning games, has absolutely no business winning. So, anything can happen. There's definitely the really huge Azalina in this matchup, because being able to Azalina your opponent Shutterwalk lets you do some really silly things. Although... Whereas Azalina before in like Odd Warrior, Control Warrior was a really good way of stealing the win condition because you could get massive armor from the cornered sentries spotting World Ones for your opponent, and then the not Odd Warrior, Control Warrior, Demon's Hand Warrior, and then the 2/2 Dry Whisker armor gaining you a hell of a lot of armor and basically just outpacing the Life Drinkers. Whereas in this matchup, none of the Druid battle cries really have that ability to in the long run keep you alive. Although it would be really funny locking your opponent out of the game with like Togwaggle ransoms. That'd be hilarious. Tempo Electra is a little awkward, but like as a Shutterwalk Shaman, you know that your AoE, your spells, your removal aren't going to be super relevant in this matchup, whereas getting a bit of tempo on board maybe. And I mean, he has a pretty dead hand too. Not like you want to double hex something. MC Tech's gonna come down. It's funny watching Shutterwalk Shaman be putting early pressure like this. We're most likely gonna see Ferocious Howl here. no real reason not to cycle and gain a lot of armor. Did not touch on this, but Wild Growth, you know, good card. Got him ahead. Branching Path, got him draws. Ferocious Howl. Alright, Twig will be good in a little bit. Although he is aware that his opponent is running a single copy of Gluttonous Ooze. Although we're aware that it hasn't come into hand yet. But, yeah, I don't know. Sort of curious to see how this plans out. I'm not hugely experienced with this, with the Shutterwalk Shaman matchup. But we do see that both Tog and Azalina are in hand. So one of the ways you definitely win this matchup is just steal your opponent's Shutterwalk entirely. And so it's time to start twigging.
That was wild.
That was wild. So yeah, we see Twig. Next up, I'm perfectly expecting to see like Malfurion and the Pestilent come down. Man, healing rain just to clear hand space. What a concept. Innervate here. We could see Dream Petal, but I expect to see Malfurion. Spawn some little guys, fight for board, get big.
The circle of life is over.
Spawns taunts. There's always an interesting question here. I feel like people are a little too quick to spawn taunts sometimes. The 1-2 poisonouses are really strong. Whereas the taunts often end up getting traded away for nothing. Pulls Keleseth, a little too late in my opinion. And we're gonna see the Druid just start to dump minions from hand in preparation for the Dream Petal Florist, I assume. So it's just gonna chomp away some minions. And so, if you don't get the ooze in 2 more turns, it's gonna be a bad time. Although we do see that Shutterwalk is now in hand. Stealing the deck's still pretty big, because you get to steal Grumble. But every turn this takes, it gets a little harder. So he's gonna drop the Dream Petal. It's a backup plan for if the Twig doesn't pan out. You typically don't use the Twig until the final turn of the Twig's existence. And the Dream Petal hits the Flibidinous Floop, which Dream Petal. Alright, this far side is huge. Does he get Grumble? He does not get Grumble. Okay, so it means that the Shutterwalk is basically losing a lot of its potential to go infinite. It can still do it with Zola the Gorgon, but it's significantly less consistent. You don't get immediate one mana Shutterwalks. Really, I'm interested to see him not going for the swap immediately. Like, your deck is a bunch of worthless crap and Malagos, I guess. Whereas your opponent's deck, like, you want to steal Shutterwalk, you want to steal Grumble, like, it's a combo deck. Steal it. What are you? I heavily disagree with what's going on here. And so now Acolyte Volcano is gonna let him draw 4 cards. Makes 1 in 4 chance of drawing Grumble. 2, 3, and not Grumble. It feels bad, man. Blazing Invocation has a possibility of getting Grumble. It does not. Mukla's not particularly. Well, Mukla's actually somewhat relevant. You can fill up your opponent's hand and make them overdraw. But I'd really like to see Toxelina come out now. Like, if he has Shutter Grumble in his hand, you're pretty screwed. And if he doesn't, you just win the game from Toxelinaing. I'm really not seeing it. Although, if you're gonna Azalina, you should play like the rest of your stuff first. But yeah, like, I really want to see Toxelina. I really do. Like, Togwaggle, Innervate, Coin, Swipe. Like, please, please, please. Oh no. I don't. Let me message our resident Druid expert. I feel. Like, he's trying to mill his deck before Toxelinaing, but like...
Death is eternal. My turn is not. I the night.
And now Grumble's in hand! Oh no. I think I think Aditya's greed may have doomed him, especially after he burned his Malagos. And yeah. With Malagos gone, like you don't have that much potential to do face damage either at this point. Like I would have understood if you were trying to draw into Malagos and just go off with Malagos and win the game with a big Malagos combo. Like that I can see. Like Malagos, Break Twig, Floop, like cool. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure how Druid comes back from this. Like you're you're Toxelinating now, but is that too late? It may be too late. Tog, okay, you should Innervate, you should Coin, you should Moonfire, you should Moonfire, you should Hero Power, but like, I guess it's not the end of the world. I think you end up stealing some Sarenites and some other stuff, so like it's not too bad, but I feel like this could have been so much better. Just steal Grumble, win game. I mean, in fairness, I have the advantage of being able to see everything that's in the hand, so Grizzled Guardian, Obsidian statue is pretty good. All right. Well, we'll see whether or not our Shutterwalk friend has enough to win this. It's gonna ransom up. It's gonna hex the Obsidian, which makes a lot of sense. He's gonna evolve his Grumble. I don't approve of this. Yeah, the chances of Grumble as a 6/8/8 getting better is like basically 0. Well, we're obviously gonna see a ransom in return. Nope, you can't hex that, buddy. You can't hero power it. And I like the Mukla. You know exactly what your opponent has in hand. None of it's exactly, you know, minions other than the Mukla. You want to free up some hand space. And so, jaws are about to bite, claws are about to catch. Zero Sarenites were played. Of course, of course it wasn't. Okay, never mind. Aditya's a genius. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yep. Don't worry about it. Yep. It's clear that both Logan and I don't play the Shutterwalk very much and have no idea what we're talking about. Good times. Well, maybe. But it's still going to be a pretty difficult matchup. Quest Rogue versus Druid. That is difficult for the Druid. Quest Rogue does disgusting things. I wonder if you keep Malagos. He does keep Malagos. He keeps Nourish too, which makes a lot of sense. You want to be able to ramp as quickly as possible, or Nourish ends up being good for draw too. But getting Malagos and Floop at opening hand is pretty solid. The Druid doesn't necessarily have great ways of dealing with the, or rather the Rogue doesn't have great ways of dealing with the Malagos. Like they don't run Saps these days, they don't run Valspines or large removals. Yeah, the main problem for Druid is going to be surviving till being able to combo, because your opponent's gonna get a lot of juice. I really like, I want Coin Twig. Yeah, I really like Coin Twig. You see that your opponent's running 0 copies of Ooze, although we're almost definitely going to see Chain Glacial Shards. And getting 2 Giggling Inventors from Mimic Pod is pretty massive. But we're gonna see this Druid face get frozen for a really long time. It's gonna have to be branching paths for draw, since the other alternative was hold coin for nourish. Wild growth's pretty big. I think you actually still branching paths. Next turn you can nourish wild growth. I feel like just cycling is sort of more efficient this turn. But I could see either. He is gonna cycle with the branching paths, get another nourish. That nourish is the second nourish is probably gonna be end up being used for draw. Wow, 3 giggling inventors. Hello, hello indeed. Oh, one little issue facing the rogue here is he's not had a lot of bounce so far. Like he's gonna have to vanish next turn probably just to be able to bounce some of his cards. I really like Nourish here. I think Nourish Wild Growth is like the play.
Let's see.
You clear some hand space so you can cycle more. You ramp up to what's 9 next turn. Like it makes so much sense, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, so my expectation next turn is we're gonna see Glacial Shard, a bunch of things hit face and vanish, I guess. I just don't see how the rogue completes quest otherwise. I think I'm actually a little worried for the rogue here. Not getting any of your bounces, not getting any of your cycle, like this is not a great feeling. I wonder if there's no, he is gonna vanish. I was like, I wonder if there's an argument for playing more giggling so that you just have all the Annoyatrons. But he's gonna vanish. Makes a lot of sense to me. On the other side, I expect to see Nourish to draw. It does draw him up to 10 cards, which is potentially bad, but chances are reasonably high that he gets something that he can dump. That's not it. MC Tech is it. Arcane Tyrant is also it. I think he's gonna happily dump both of those minions. And so yeah, he's gonna have double Malagos in a couple of turns. A suit, wow, a couple more turns. He's gonna have frozen for a while. But main problem for him right now is finding the burn he needs. On the other side, we're gonna see a lot of deckhands come out. I believe we're gonna see 3 deckhands and then a Glacial Shard. No, it's just gonna be 4 deckhands. And so he's like, okay, Sonya's done her job. I have a guaranteed quest completion next turn. Like, you can kill my Sonya, I don't care. And I'm gonna freeze your face a bunch and then you're gonna die. I think that's pretty much what the rogue player is saying right now. On the other side, I really want to see... I want to see Malfurion for Poisonous. Yeah, I think I would also be okay with just seeing Malagos, like dry Malagos. It's a threat that's not necessarily easy to answer, and if it does get answered, it's going to require 3 minions. Although it does lose your opinion, or your ability to sort of OTK. Jasper Spellstone, by the way, is such a broken card. It's so good in this matchup too. So he's going to get some Poisonous Frost Widows, but on the other side, we're going to see a lot of 4/4 Annoyatrons after quest completion. Well, ish. He doesn't have that much mana. So quest gets completed. He doesn't have prep, so he's gonna have to hardcast Crystal Core. And then he gets to play a 4/4. Yay. So yeah, that's sort of the unfortunate aspect of this quest rogue hand, which has been really bad, by the way. Swipe is some of the additional burn you're looking for. You just need to be able to pop your twig now, which is easier said than done, given that Glacial Shards are going to continue to be a massive pain in the rear. But in the meantime, he can Spreading Plague for a single Scarab and just put in some face damage. Yep. As the rogue player, I don't think you can afford to let this twig go off. You're like, well, maybe he is. Yeah. So I was thinking potentially like Glacial Shard Vanish, but I guess he can protect this Glacial Shard. At least theoretically, it's probably gonna get like naturalized or something. And so quickly calculating Malagos damage once it is online. We have spell damage plus 10, and then currently 2 spells, so that's 25 damage exactly. So yeah, although Scale Hide does change that equation a little bit. Ultimate Infestation, I feel like you go for UI. UI on the Scale Hide. It's either that or you naturalize the Scale Hide, but it's such a slow turn. I think I'd like to see UI. He's gonna naturalize the Glacial Shard. That makes sense. It's like you can't freeze my face much longer. But then he's still lacking the burn he needs, which is really unfortunate. Because the Scale Hide is gonna allow his opponent to heal up to 29 HP, which is why I would have maybe liked to see naturalizing the Scale Hide instead. And so with that, his opponent's going to be out of range of at least the existing bird. He's also going to be able to do a heck of a lot of damage. He pulls Glacial Shard off. I can't speak. Pulls Glacial Shard off Elven Minstrel, and suddenly this is looking really, really grim. And it's gonna be a concede. GG, and that's going to be a 3-2 in favor of Ben, who is going to face David in the lower bracket finals. See Logan's well on top of his game, has already filled out the bracket. Well, that was a fun series. I'll catch y'all later.